Gavin, good to see you.
I'm
How
good,
are you?
good. How are you?
Are we at home? I'm good. Thanks,
I'm at
man.
home. You look like you're in a home or a recording studio. It's like funky. Ooh,
So this is my basement. This is where I have
man
spent
cave.
16 hours a day every single day since like March 20th.
16 hours. What do you do for 16 hours?
Yeah. Well, I get up and I work here. So, because we're not going into work anymore. So, I just get up and I come
Mhm.
downstairs and I start working at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the
Wow.
morning, like so many other
What
people
the
working
hell are
at
you
home.
doing?
And then do, what this is what happens when you work at
How
home
many jobs do you
is,
have?
you realize like now it's like 8 p.m. and you're still sitting with your laptop in front of you. Like you never, like there's no separation between work and home anymore. But it's that's powering through the pandemic, I suppose. I wanted to show you something when we started here. Let me get my phone on. So this is that's February 29th in Las Vegas. That's the two
Oh,
of
yes,
us.
yes, 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 yes. I
So
remember that.
this
I
is
remember that.
literally days before everything starts shutting down. I mean, that must have been like whiplash for you. You're firing up tour, you've got the album coming out, like everything's happening. You get the big party in Vegas, and then what? Like just stop,
Yeah.
right? Because it was like days after that, everything started to shut down. I mean, how'd that go for you? Was it like a wait and see? Were you like I guess like what kind of conversations are you having at this point? Like, are we going to put out the album? Do we start sending people home from tour? Like, how did that play out in March?
Yeah, it was a horrific time. The weirdest thing about it was that outside of obviously I was very worried about the kind of techs and tour manager and so forth, or people working with us to make our
Sure.
lives possible. There was a big concern for them, but on a personal level, I, the world was ending. I was like, I thought there was corona on the stairs. I thought my knee hurt. Did I get it? I was like in torment.
Yeah.
So there was no time to navel gaze about my not being able to perform and stuff like that. I really didn't. I was more like, it was like a commando effort. I mean, I was getting the groceries, and like having them outside on the stoop and like cleaning everything before it came in the house. And we didn't know where and how and what was going on. So I have
Sure.
young children, and I was just like, oh my God, everything was just like a commando, special forces mission to go and get milk. You know, um,
Right.
so that was
Right.
my focus. That was really my focus.
I was having a conversation just before you and I started here with someone about how acutely aware I have become of other people and their germs. It's like this is not something I had ever really considered before growing up. And I wonder, like, was that something that had concerned you in the past? And has it gotten worse, or
Be honest,
is
I
it
was
all
always
sort of the same?
slightly confused. I didn't mind. I love meeting people. I do these meet and greets, but just shaking so many people's hands. I was always like, I was like, such a funny thing, isn't it? Like with a custom of having to touch
Yeah.
each other. Why can't you say, hey? Why do we have to touch the whole time? I'm not, I'm not. I don't have issues, and I'm not weird about it. But I was just like, you meet 150 people at a meet and greet every night. I was just like, that's a lot of people. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of hands. And I was just like, it's so
Yeah.
funny. Like, why do we do this? Obviously, it used to be you do that to show back in the Middle Ages, you're not having you haven't got to
You don't have a
play a
knife up your
rock to hit
sleeve or
goal
something,
with.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I totally get that. But I don't know, people paying good money to come and meet you and take a picture of you. I'm hoping that they're not going to, nothing's weird. They go through metal detectors, I guess, or not. I don't know. We're not a hip hop band, but, you know, yeah. So I don't know. It was weird. I'm not a germaphobe, but there's someone in my band who's a super germaphobe. So he was always really worried about it. It was always like fist bumping and
Sure.
never, I don't really shake people's hands anyway because I always get one person who's really over enthusiastic and crush your hands. Then you got to go play
Oh
guitar, and
yeah.
literally people do that one, do the hand crusher. So I go, I'm not a germaphobe, but the hand crush, boom, nice to meet you, which is
Sure.
perfectly healthy.
Which is great when you have to go play in an hour, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the album, you ended up pushing that back. Was that a product of a COVID and the shutdowns and everything, or did you see an opportunity here to change some things and do some more work on it?
Just nothing worse than a drifter. I don't drift. I don't know. I do the release schedules. That's the label of my management, and I was excited to get it out. I don't get involved in that stuff. I don't understand it. I don't choose the songs. I just, I'm sort of a slave to the rhythm and just trying to make songs, and then everyone else seems to decide what will kind of lead and be the singles and all stuff like that. So I'm just in the same position as anyone else. So I got put back. I found out I was doing an interview, and they were like, "So it's been put back till July the 14th." I said, "Oh, it did? Oh, good. I'm so glad I found out. Thank you." So nice. So
Well, cool.
I don't know this. Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
You worked on this album for a long time, though, didn't you? A couple of years?
Well, you got to take into account that having young children and being present for them, I think that if you breed, at least you can do is be there for them. And then going on tour.
Is that the obligation?
Then we did the tour. We toured a lot. So actually, it doesn't leave. It's not like a clear run of like, whoa, 2 years to go and sit in a monastery and wait till the lightning strikes. It's stolen moments, stolen sessions, and which is fine. I've done that ever since. Even 16 Stone that was probably 2 years of songs, year and a half, 2 years of songs and playing. That was probably the clearest time we had. And after that, it's always, you got to be on tour. And I was like, I remember with Razorblade, with Golden State, the record was hardly done. And Dave Sardy was like, "Well, yeah, I want to work with you, but it's not done yet. The songs aren't written and all that." And I was like, give me a week. And I remember kind of going from him saying, "I don't know about this," to 10 days later, like 10 feverish days. So I like the idea. I always remember PJ Harvey. I remember reading that she wrote "Rid of Me" in 2 weeks, and then went to record with Steve Albini. I was always like, "Oh my God, she's so pure and good, and I'm just a piece of dog turd compared to her. She's so cool." And probably still feel slightly the same about it. But so it's stolen. It's not like I get the chance to pour over it at all. I think we did like 200 shows. 100, no, maybe not that many. I don't think 150 shows in the 2 years. So that's a lot of time, because it's not 150 nights. It's like you got to get there, you got to fly the next day. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of time. You have a couple of days off a week.
But I imagine, Gavin, you got to take some time to get into the right headspace to write too. It's not like, okay, I've got 10 minutes, let's put together this song.
Because I'm trying. I have a studio in my house. I'm obviously thinking of new songs now for the next record. And I thought, when my kids, they're going to be in classes. I got there in their 3 bedrooms. I got a studio set, and the other one I was like, I just going to pop in and do that. Just nick away at something, do that. Nothing. Just I turn around. "Dad, can I get an orange juice? Dad, can I get the apple? Dad, look, I ordered something on Amazon. Please, can I get these Robux? There's this really, really valuable skin. It'll never happen again." It's like, I thought.
Wait, let me ask you, is this an upside of the last few months, though, being able to be home and spending more time with your kids, or maybe having more time to write and not having the constant demands of touring and all of that weighing over your head? And
at first, it was pretty weird. Like I realized that since yesterday was 26 years since 16 Stone came out, that really, I know I had a bit of hiatus from Bush for a few years, but I did Institute and I did my solo records. There was always stuff going on. I was always moving, traveling, writing, working. And it was, I realized, it reflected, it was the first time that I had no travel plans on the horizon. There've been times where I didn't maybe travel for a month or 2 months, but I always knew that in such and such a time I had to go there and do this. So that was quite liberating, and I didn't mind that side of it, because I thought, well, Jesus Christ, if variety is the spice of life, this is just a different shape, and I embraced it.
Sure.
I miss hotel rooms, and I miss travel and sitting there drinking red wine, terrible cold red wine on a plane that perfectly well does the job, and you're sat there and you're reading, right. Because I miss all that bullshit and the shows, obviously, and the people And so I'm sort of ready, having done this shape for the best part of a year, I'm ready to go back and go back to my life. But I don't know, like I think that I'm not the kind of person that sits and looks at this and thinks, how bad is this for me? First of all, I'm fully aware of people, hundreds of thousands of people have died, millions around the world have died. So having a health and keeping away from that has been, incredible, the main focus, and staying healthy. And, there's things to be gleaned from staying back home. We've done a lot of stuff, and I've, had the opportunity to do a lot of promotion for the record, which I would have done anyway. But I know the Zoom thing was fine. I was talking with a guy before from ABC, and he's saying that I actually enjoy it like this. It's way preferable to a video, to a phone call. I mean, this is an enjoyable process.
Sure.
You kind of get the sense of the other person, and you kind of feel whether, I don't know, maybe for you, whether the answers are genuine. I feel whether the questions are genuine. You know what I mean? I can tell. Sometimes I talk to people and I'm just like, the questions are a bit of a worry, so Bush, where did it all begin? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Where did I begin? I don't know. I'm still forward. I'm working in progress.
But where are you going?
I'm working. Yeah. Bush, rock music in general. Discuss. What?
Right. Okay. Well, it started with rocks in a cave. Has this been hardest, you think, as far as, I don't know, business goes on the people, the touring folks, like the crews and even the clubs, everyone, and the venues?
I mean, to be fair, everyone. I mean, it's not like, for me, on a simple level, nothing changed in my life apart from the income. The kids still want to eat. The kid, I used to have this thing, I feel bad for my kids because I thought I was setting a good example because they'd see I'd work really hard, and I'd literally do half the amount that we could because we all have kids. And Nigel, who's the guitar player in the original Bush, he didn't want to do it anymore because he really felt that he had forfeited watching his child grow up. Now, when at that time, we were just touring nonstop. I mean, nonstop. It was like, if you had a week at home, 10 days at home, it was like, wow, look at this. What the hell is this? People, you can buy a newspaper from your own country, go and get a coffee. And
you probably don't even know what to do with yourself over those 10 days, right?
Well, what I used to do is a bit, what happened is I'd spend, if it was 2 weeks off, I'd spend 1 week, having dinners with everyone, family, friends. And the first question would be like, how long are you around for when you're leaving? Have a dinner, say hello, then a dinner, say goodbye. So that was it. It was a 2 week sort of spread of friends, socializing, staying up every night, staying up a few nights here and there with buddies, having a laugh, and then going back out. And so for him, it was a lot worse. Now with me, I mean, I basically tour 5 months of the year. So that's still a lot. That's still, 7 months that I'm home, which means I get 3.5, 3.5 months with my kids, in a year. So that was like quite taxing. I would have slight panic attacks on the plane to Singapore, thinking, is this the right thing to do? And then I come back and they're fine. And they still want sushi, which apparently isn't free. They're not aware of it, but it's, they like sushi, and they want to order Xboxes, and they want all the gizmos. And I say to them, it's a real straight concept, parents got to work so we can get these things for you. End of story. Before I had you, I was doing this. I can't suddenly change. I did try and change. I did a number of things that tried to, I offered to work for one of my publishing company. I had this great idea about, being an executive.
Were you going to get a day job?
Yeah, I was asking to. I mean, in combination with everything, but I wanted to look at ways of how to branch out in my career and what could I do. And I thought, well, I like songs. Why can't I? I was very impressed with my pitch. I thought it was I really impressed myself. I gave myself the job. I was like, this is a shoo-in, and then apparently it wasn't. And I was like, but don't executives get like extraordinary? I mean, I've been around so many different executives in music, and people talk about, the talent of this executive, this and that, and they get paid way more than anyone in bands, and they do really well. And I was thinking, Well, I think I bring a wealth of experience. If anybody says, do you think, pick between these 5 songwriters and who do you think we should nurture? I was like, I was so impressed. This has got to be great. And apparently it wasn't. I wrote a TV show the cooking show that I have shot the pilots for and have not managed to get made in 2.5 years. Everyone is incredibly impressed by it, except apparently anyone that wants to make it. So,
everyone loves it except for the people who make television shows.
Yeah, so
it's a cooking show. Is it you cooking?
It's an interview show. It's an interview show set to a backdrop of me basically having dinner with someone, making dinner for someone. And I think it still may get made. It's like an interview. It's like you and me doing this. You'd actually be famous because that helps the viewers. And I cook for you and fill you with
more famous.
And I cook for you and fill you with the beverages of your choice. And we'd have a laugh.
Great.
We'd have some insights. And I shot 2 episodes. And it was so long ago now that I had like midlife crisis hair of like blonde and fucked up. And even my daughter said to me, Dad, just not the blonde bit at the back. I was like, it's not me, my hairdresser. He's having a total midlife crisis. And I'm just his guinea pig looking like I'm having it. I'm not having the crisis.
You're along for the ride.
Yeah, he has a Porsche and he put weird dye in my hair. I just did one bit and something I was like, all these stripes. And I was like, it might be a bit too much, She's like, just not the stripe at the back. I was like, all right.
How much does having kids that age keep you grounded, by the way? I hear a lot of, as you and I are talking, influence your kids have on you. And, does it keep you level when you've got someone around that tells you that hair thing doesn't look good on you? Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very lucky. I have 4 kids and it's funny because when I got the questions when I first had kids and this and that, and like, have you written anything about them? I was like, what a horrible idea. Hold on, I've got to get some power. I was like, what a horrible idea.
Is that because the kids sucked all the juice out of the iPad?
Yes. Yeah. It's like it's the new version. They drain all the electronics because apparently Fortnite can only be on this iPad. Apparently. So I always maintain this idea that they inspire me enough that I actually would be horrified if I sucked or if I made a record that they couldn't, they couldn't come on to their friend's house and they're like, feel some sense of pride in, and so all I think that my kids did for me is they upped the ante. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like bringing in a dud record and like, here's my dad, he's listening to the other stuff. It's really good, like dirgy, acoustic-y, fireside bullshit rock music, the singer with the acoustic and all that. Oh, so I just try to keep it where they just feel inspired.
That's great. Before I let you go, I wanted to ask you about the Bowie tribute coming up in January that I saw you are a part of. Tell me about that. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun. Well, I did it 5 years ago after David passed. They had all his alumni. They all got together, and they turned it into sort of a touring machine. They actually asked me to go with them a lot of places. I did 2 nights in LA. The first when they first did it, and thought it was brilliant. I did I'm Afraid of Americans, and it was just incredible to play with his band, play with the guys that played that, be around all of them, be around the other musicians singers that showed up to sing. It was a wonderful night. And recently I reconnected with Mike and I did something for Music Cares with him. I did the Heroes song, and that's on the Kingdom Deluxe. I did Heroes with him, and he played on Undone, one of the songs on the record on the Kingdom. And then he asked me to be part of this event that he's doing January 8th. And it's phenomenal. I mean, he's got a lot of great people, tons of great people. You know what I mean? I mean, everyone is doing it. All the Bowie alumni. There's quite a lot of people that he played with. I mean, this is a guy. He had a lot of players that played with him, and obviously they're all incredible. So I'm doing a song, and I'm ready to do another song if Mike asks me. He said, "Man, I might have to ask you to do a second song." I was like, "Anytime." I had to do, I was like, "I don't know, what do you want?" And but it was really fun to go through the catalog again because I did it for the Bowie's tribute Bowie Musicares thing. I went through the catalog, and then I went through the catalog again to see what song I wanted to do, and that was a fun sort of couple of hours. Ooh, what Bowie song? What Bowie song is good enough for me to sing? About
which Bowie song is worthy of my touch?
Yeah. Every single one of them, apart from the Laughing Gnome. I think that's the only one. I remember getting that as a kid because I lived down the road from a music store. I don't know if you're familiar with that song. I'm the Laughing Gnome and you can't catch me. Ha ha ha. Hee, hee. I'm the Laughing Gnome and you can't catch me.
No one would expect it if you did that one, though. No one would see that coming.
or need it.
True. All right. I will I'll let you go there, Gavin. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. Hopefully next time we can see each other in person again, and we'll
until then we'll keep Mr. and Mrs. Zoom afloat in
Mr. on their giant boat. You got it, brother. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Take care, Gavin. See you.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man.